it's great to find a platform to put out some music that really makes sense. There's an audience that respects this kind of a collage of art. You know, that just opened my ears and my eyes to the possibilities of where music can go from the beat perspective. My name is KARRIEM Riggins, and you are watching Behind the Sleeves. These are some of my favorite hand-picked selections from my discography. Welcome to Detroit. This was actually the first beat I ever sold. I met Dilla when Common was working on One Day It All Makes Sense. He flew to Detroit to get some beats from J Dilla. At the time, his name was JD, because Common gave him his name J Dilla a little later. It's like he just played so many beats from cassette, and Common would pick certain ones, and he made another cassette for Common to walk with. And it was just like amazing stuff that I heard, like how he was chopping beats, and they were all on cassette. So just cassette level, warm quality, you know, and it sounded really thick. So it really inspired me, like just being around him at that time and seeing how he created music. I remember going to his crib and playing a lot of different tapes. Like I would have one beat on the tape, and I'm like, I have another one, and I'll pull out another tape. And I always had all these tapes just kind of like not organized. And he's like, KARRIEM, make one beat tape and put a gang of beats on it. So I finally did that. I listened to him, and The Clapper was the first beat on my beat tape. And he's like, hey, I want that one. And this is what we created.
Bounce. Survival of the fittest.
So I had the bass line and the drums, and Dilla added little keyboard stabs in there.
Clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off.
When I heard that, I was like, man, he's less, it's so simplistic, you know, but it was just like, it filled in the space, and it was just like genius how he can hear what the song needed, you know, and it wasn't much, but it made the song full. So I didn't get the memo, but everybody went to the ATM, and I had no idea that I was supposed to have money, so I reached in my pocket and I had $1. So that's my $1 at the strip club. My first contribution to the art form, Alone Together. These are the beats that I had on beat CDs at the time. We decided to put it out as an album. I added a lot of interludes and made it more into a collage of things that were like inspiring me at the moment. It kind of tells a story, and this is one of my favorites because it reminds me of Brazil.
Olha o menino, oi. Olha o menino, ui, ui, ui. Olha o menino, oi. Olha o menino, ui, ui, ui. Olha o menino, oi. Olha o menino, ui, ui, ui. Olha o menino, oi. Olha o menino, ui, ui.
Shout out to Stones though for giving me the platform to put this music out with no boundaries. You know, they had nothing to say or for me to change anything. They didn't have a whole lot of, you know, creative control. They just told me to do what I love to do, and I did that, and this is it. So, much love. Jahari Massamba Unit. This is one of the groups that I have with my brother Madlib that I actually met through J Dilla. I met Madlib in 2004. They did a big show here at the Fonda Theater. Mad Villain performed, Madlib and MF Doom, and then J Dilla and Madlib did J-Lib, classic collabo. Frequently every Sunday I would go to this party called The Do-Over. My guy Jamie Strong, shout out to Jamie. I had a lot of beats I was passing him, and we decided to start a group called the Supreme Team. Finally, I ran out of beats because Madlib kept hitting me with so many beats and I didn't have any more, so I just started hitting him with drum CDs, and he came the next week with an album's worth of music over one of my drum CDs. It's so surprising working with him because I have no idea what he's gonna do to my drums. And I get them back and get stuff like this. So it was like mind-blowing to see, you know, how prolific, one, but also creative he is. And he's one of my favorite artists and super inspiration to me. The record cover for this album is by one of my favorite artists who actually did all the artwork to the Play series, Jason Yeagle. And this is a special piece here. The colors, his eye is just one of the most amazing eyes that I've seen in art. Shout out to Yeagle. Steve Lacy. This record is one of my favorite records, right? I met Steve actually on Instagram. He sent me a direct message. And at the time, I wasn't familiar with his music. He said, my drums are fire. And I'm wondering, where did you hear the drums? And he told me K Tronada had a session with him and played him, I think, 7 or 8 ideas from my latest batch. In a jazz song, the bass walks, you know, dun, 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 dun. So I was thinking of doing an idea where the bass didn't have to really move around so much, and the bass drum could be more of the heartbeat of the beat. So when you hear the bass drum, it's going dum 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 dum, and then the bass can just float around it. Steve heard exactly how I interpreted that idea, and he executed it amazing. So he's one of my favorite new people to work with. We got a lot of stuff coming out. So shout out to Steve Lacy. The Shining, my brother J Dilla. This is like really close to my heart. Dilla hit me and told me that he was working on this and he had so many ideas. And the first collaboration that he wanted was to have the live drums and incorporate J-Rock from the Beat Junkies. He reached out and I got a voicemail saying that, you know, he wanted me to help him complete this record. And I had no idea of his condition or how he was at the moment. I'm thinking that we're going to be able to complete this record together. But, you know, not too long after that, he passed away. So we were left with these ideas that we had from this project. So I got a call from Peter to complete the record, and then we went into the studio and I then pulled in artists that Dilla really loved to kind of put the finishing touch on what we thought he would have liked or loved. Here's one of the songs that we created called Body Movement, featuring my brother J-Rock.
The body moving.
That's actually me playing the keyboard solo. I was just noodling around and Dilla heard me. He was like, yo, keep that in. So that's one of my only keyboard solo moments on a record.
The crush grooving.
Rest in peace, King Dilla. Thank you for checking out Behind the Sleeves. These were some of my favorite hand-picked selections, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please pick up the Play series, KARRIEM Riggins Drums on Native Instruments. Much love, spread love, peace.